Okay. Hey, it's Zave. I know, the very first thing you're probably asking, why should I play this over Slay the Spire? If these character designs don't convince you, then maybe you shouldn't. It sounds funny, but I'm serious. Don't get me wrong, there are some unique features to this game, but at the end of the day, if the fact that this being an anime gacha isn't enough to get you to play it, then you're genuinely better off playing Slay the Spire. If you still have an interest in the game though, let's get into the first impressions. When it comes to reviewing a game in any capacity, I like to evaluate them based on a couple different categories: narrative, presentation, characters, gameplay, and for gacha games, the monetization. Let's start with this game is certainly going for a darker tone. There's quite a bit of gore, and it kind of feels like anyone can die at any moment, even though they can't. We'll get there. Basically, we're a combat commander for a ship called the SS Nightmare. In this world, there are warped spaces called chaos where grotesque monsters reside. We have this technology where we can project ourselves into the chaos while leaving our physical bodies on the ship. You may think that there are no stakes if our bodies are just on the ship the whole time, but there are a lot more ways to be harmed outside of physical pain. Mental health. In this world, if you die in the chaos, it does severe psychological damage to you. Early in the story, one of our allies is a victim of this and becomes severely mentally traumatized, and that reflects in the gameplay as well. So there's very large emphasis on mental health, both in the narrative and the actual gameplay, which is really interesting. This can open the door for them to tell some really interesting stories about trauma, coping mechanisms, and explore how these things can affect relationships between people. None of the plot points so far have really jumped out at me, and I'm not really attached to any single character based on the writing, but I think there's a lot of potential here. The presentation for this game is actually top notch. Now before I glaze, I always like to be open with my biases, so to be clear, when it comes to graphics and art style, I am a huge sucker for well done live 2D art. Chaos Zero Nightmare utilizes live 2D art and full-on 2D animations to its fullest. There's a ton of anime style cutscenes in the main story. All the ultimates have short animated scenes, and all the combat animations are extremely smooth 2D anime sprite work. Even if you aren't a fan of chibi like me, they're serviceable and have smooth enough animations to where I don't mind that they're chibi. Plus, every character has a full-size sprite that pops up when you select one of their cards, so it's really not that bad. The music for this game is also pretty damn good too. It fits the vibe perfectly, and I even caught myself pausing for a moment just to listen to the songs. I don't think I'd ever listen to it outside of the game, but I definitely use it for background music in future videos. As for the narrative presentation, like I said, they used animated 2D cutscenes every now and then that are pretty well done, but it's mostly just 2D sprites talking to each other. The old visual novel style of presentation. Also, there isn't any English voice acting, only Japanese and Korean. For some, that may affect the presentation of the story or how the story is conveyed, so keep that in mind too. So, good combat animations, sound design, music, and art style, but narrative presentation leaves a bit to be desired. Overall, not bad. The characters in this game are pretty hit or miss. Some of them look really cool and some of them are bland as hell. Calliope is one of the really cool designs. Sick outfit, her weapon looks disgusting. A giant sword and the hilt and handle are a cross, and she has little bear ears. It's kinda cute. Hugo is another cool one. Not entirely unique, but in the context of the game's cast, every character that's not a massive titty anime girl automatically gets some points. Amir is also one I really like. I won't be elaborating on why. And finally, Cass, arguably the most unique design in the entire game. I think it's kind of a miss that he's not like a 5-star or whatever, but still, amazing design. But with the hits, there are quite a few misses, where the design can be boiled down to just anime girl or boy with a weapon. Luke is just a guy in some tactical gear. Aurelia is a nun with giant breasts. Mei Lin is literally just a girl. Maribel is so naked that it's comical. These are really weak and boring designs in my opinion, and don't really do anything with the tropes that they're embodying. As for the writing, it's still too early to say, but I have a feeling that character writing is not going to be one of the selling points of this game. I wouldn't mind being proven wrong though. I did have quite a bit of interest going into the event for the current banner character. It seems that they're going to at least make an attempt to have the characters have some pretty unique personalities, so I'm going to double back on that. It'll be interesting to see where they go there. Chaos Zero Nightmare is a turn-based card game. Every turn you draw a few cards from your deck and get a set amount of AP. You use various amounts of AP to play different cards. Every character has a set base deck and a team is made up of 3 characters, so your total deck is an amalgamation of the base deck of each member of your team. That already gives a pretty good amount of variety to the combat, but the selling point of Chaos Zero Nightmare's combat is the save data. When you go into the Chaos, you enter a roguelike gameplay loop. You traverse different nodes on a map until you reach the end. Throughout the level, you can gain various buffs, debuffs, and alterations to your character's cards, along with equipment that can be put on your characters, and new cards that can be added to your character's deck. Once you complete the level, you can save all the changes you made through that run, and then use them in other gameplay modes. This is an interesting way to do character building, because it'll be rare for one player to have the same build as another. My Rin may be built completely different from someone else's. This system allows for a lot of build variety too, theory crafting, and a bunch of discussion among the player base. If they handle this right and continue to allow characters to have multiple playstyles that are all viable, then I can see this game having a lot more replay value and longevity compared to the competition. So this game also follows the same pricing that Hoyo popularized: 160 currency for 1 pull, and it's 1600 for a 10 pull, but the rates are slightly better than Hoyo's. That being said, any gacha with a 50-50 fails on the monetization front in my opinion. We're in the age now where developers and publishers can just not have a 50-50, so any of them that do automatically catch an L for me. Yes, that includes my baby Wuthering Waves. As much as I like the guaranteed weapon banner, characters being 50-50 is still vomit inducing. I've heard people say that this game is generous enough to where they don't mind the 50-50, but I haven't seen any numerical breakdown actually showing the pull income being all that great, so I can't confirm nor deny these claims. I'm personally now just at a point to where if you have a 50-50 in your game, then there's a 99% chance I'm going to be playing free to play. So overall, I think the game's alright. There are certainly some issues, and I don't know if I see myself playing this game 6 months from now, but I can definitely say it's worth a try. The game doesn't feel lazy or like a cash grab, especially when it comes to the art and animations, and the gameplay feels promising. Give it a shot and let me know what you think. Have yourself a damn good one.